Hi folks, John Cordisco here. Another game from round 7 from the U.S. Championships. This time it's from the Women's Championship. I gotta tell you honestly, some people say it's inferior chess, but I don't believe it. The ladies are a lot more bloodthirsty than the guys are. Anyway, folks, this is a game. It's a hell of a game. As white, Nazi Paikidze against Agata. Can never pronounce her last name. Bykovtsev. I'll just call her Agata. So Nazi is white, Agata is black. Let's get to it. Go through the opening. Basically, King's Indian setup. Or I should say anti-King's Indian. Knight. Castles. Knight takes. Knight takes. Pawn takes. C4. Typical development. Knight C6. Knight C3. Bishop F5. Now, according to the computer, that's the last book move. Interesting setup. I tried to play the King's Indian once in a while years ago. I always seem to get overwhelmed. Queen C1. Just to get off that file. Queen C8. Typical move in the King's Indian. Trying to get the bishop here to trade off the light squared bishops. Knight D5. Rook. That's pretty much stalls that. Because if you go bishop here, the queen has to leave. And that takes a pawn. E3. Discards a D4 square. A5. Queen C3. Now I gotta tell you, I've seen these young ladies in interviews, and I've seen some of their games. Agata, advanced physics and mathematics. I mean, these girls are sharp. Nazi's the same way. She just recently graduated, I think Nazi did. I gotta tell you, she has a good chance of winning the women's championship. Irina Krushin, Anna Zakonski, and Tatev Abrahamian, they got their work cut out for them. It's pretty back and forth with the ladies here. And Nazi seems to have come a long ways in a year. And I like Agata. I've seen her on a few interviews. And she's a cool kid. A4. Rook AC1. Pawn take. She reminds me a lot of my daughter, Agata. Physically, they look very similar. It's interesting. And they're both very intense. They love to study. They love to excel. They love to just be good at things. And my daughter's the same way. She's a little bit older than Agata, though, but Rook A, I should say Rook to A6. B4, Knight E7, E4. These ladies are going right along with the computer moves, which I have off screen. Right now, it's a small advantage for white. Bishop D7. Rook comes over. C6. Pretty good game so far. Thought it'd be a little more action on the king side with white's pawns because of the King's Indian, but it didn't work out that way. Knight F4. Now we all see why you can't take the knight. Because queen mates. So F6 stops that. Then that goes back to D3 where she wanted it anyway. B6. They're just slowly creeping along, trying to get the pieces in the best possible positions. F4. Here we go with the pawn storm, just like a King's Indian. Queen C7. F takes. Pawn takes. C5. It's starting to open up. This is the part of the game where I always have the most trouble. I'll call it middle game. Give you an idea, instead of C5, Those of you that are wondering about knight takes. Once you go knight c8, c5, b5, and white's in trouble. A lot of trouble, actually. This knight got 1, 2, 3 attackers. And white has 2 defenders, but the first one's a queen. Not very good. After c5, rook goes back to a8. C takes. Queen takes check. Knight goes to c5. That's a damn good spot for that knight. It's not a dark square. There's no pawns on either side of it to harass it, black's pawns. And the dark squared bishop's going to take a long time to harass that knight, so he's in a good spot. So that pin isn't that big of a deal. Bishop. King goes to h1 to get out of the pin. Doesn't really want to go to the f file. You got rooks on there, you don't want to do that. King to h1, bishop a2. Interesting move there. And that's also the computer's move. Now that move I never would have thought of, to be honest with you. And I went over this game earlier. I really don't see the purpose of that. Maybe somebody can put a comment in the comment section of the video here what that move is really all about. Bishop a2. Rook to f1. King goes over in the corner. Small advantage for white. 1.25. Black's getting pressed a little bit. But I think Agata is holding her own, especially Nazi's plays really well. She's about 150 points, 130 points higher rated than Agata. Rook a1. Knight to g8. It's going to reroute the knight. Bishop c1. Queen to b5. I think slowly black's starting to get back into the game. Not that they're really out of it, but I think her position is slowly improving. Bishop d2. Connect the rooks. Bishop to c4. Rook takes. Rook takes. Rook to c1. Now you're threatening to win a piece. The bishop on c4. Bishop f7. Queen f3. They're slowly trying to improve their pieces. Bishop goes back to c4. Bishop c3. Rook. Queen goes back to e3. Okay. What to do, what to do. Now, they're very critical that Agata didn't play a bishop to h6. Skewering the queen and the rook. Now, knight to h6 is the computer's first move. Second move is rook to d8, and then queen to b6. So I don't think it looks really good. Maybe somebody can go over it. I really haven't had a chance to analyze it from the bishop to h6 standpoint. But she went bishop f1. I thought was a really interesting move. I think black's just looking to trade way down and try to draw this. She's been pressed the whole game. But knight to e6. Not the best move in the world. Bishop f3 is the computer's choice just to block the scope of that rook on f8. But she goes knight to e6. Bishop takes check. King takes. Small advantage now for black. So black has dug herself, she's dug herself out of the bad position she was in. And she makes a very natural move. This is where she should have went bishop h6. And then scored. Now that the late squared bishops are gone. But she miscues. Now we're on move 39. I'm not sure if she was in time trouble or not. Bishop h6 is the best move by far. She went rook a8. And that spelled her doom. 39th move. Was probably in time trouble. Rook to c2, just the guard on the check on the white king. And then she miscues again. This happens all the time. When you make one bad move, you make another. And she goes rook a4. And it's over a 6-point advantage now for white. I feel bad for Agata. She played a great game. Now knight takes. King takes. And a great, great move. Great move. Queen f4. It's a 10-point advantage now for white. What a heartbreaker for Agata. I think she could have drawn this. A draw would have been a very good result for her, especially against Nazi Paikidze. But it didn't happen that way, and that's where the poor kid resigned. Give you an idea what would have happened after knight h6. Bishop takes check. King. Queen. It's over. Queen's got to take the bishop on e5, and that's the end of that. So tough, tough break for Agata. She played really tough. That miscue at the end on move 39 just did you in. Chess is a cruel game. I've always said so. It's the greatest game in the world, but it's also the cruelest game. So there you have it, folks, from the Women's U.S. Championship round 7. Hope you enjoyed it. I think after this game, Nazi is in first place by 1/2 point. But I'll tell you, the youngsters are really kicking some ass in the women's section as well as the U.S. Championship itself, but especially in the ladies section. So I want you to remember, folks, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.
Well, it is all about the shoes. The resplendent Nazi Paikidze, looking spring-like, and we love the spring gear, and the shoes are of course on camera right now. Nazi, today you played a game that was really a battle. It could not have gone your way, this game. Tell us about what happened.
I'm surprised to hear that because I felt like I had an advantage the whole game. Although I was feeling it less and less as I was playing, but until move 40 when she blundered rook a4. But yeah, I was feeling comfortable the whole game. Of course, I didn't get a big advantage from the opening, but
there was one moment. There was one moment where you had a good position, but then she played rook a8 instead of bishop to h6. When you played knight e6, she could have interpolated bishop h6, attacking your queen and attacking your rook on c1.
Oh, I see, and e5 is not hanging. I forgot about that.
Right. Just in this moment, she could have played. When she left, her rook left, and the whole game changed. But still, she had to find the move and realize that she had to leave her rook hanging. But still, you're atop the championship yet again. You had it for a moment, then you tie. You're atop for the moment. Looks like one of your rivals will not tie you in this round. So what are your thoughts? 4 rounds to go. It's 7 rounds so far. Usually around now, players are getting tired and they're flagging. How do you feel at this point in the tournament?
Well, I feel very happy with my tournament situation. And for me, tournament starts now, so I don't feel tired. I'm going all in the last 4 rounds.
Is your fitness regimen a part of not feeling tired right now after 7 long rounds?
Absolutely. I think it helps a lot, and I think it helped today too. I think my opponent just got tired at some point.
Well, Irina Krush is chasing you. Tatev Abrahamyan is about to be chasing you. Do you feel the pressure of this moment in any way?
Not really. I don't feel any pressure. I just have to play game by game, and I already played Tatev, so I'll worry about Krush's game in the last round.
Good attitude, and we look forward to seeing you continue to play vivacious chess as the tournament goes on.
Thank you.